Rian Johnson is threatening us once more with a Star Wars trilogy. Oh yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. Rian Johnson. He's back. He's back to talk about Star Wars. This is a weird one, to be honest. Do you remember the Star Wars trilogy that he was supposed to make? I remember. Do you remember? I remember. We all remember. Goodness me. Honestly, when's this guy going to give it up? When is Kathleen Kennedy going to give it up? When's she going to be fired? Never. That is the answer to all those questions. So, yeah, this happened. He came out and spoke about it again. Rather comically. So, we'll dive into this. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Do turn those bell notifications on. Just a bit of fun. This is just a bit of fun. Just going to mock him, to be honest, and mock Star Wars and Disney in general. But yeah, Rian Johnson still wants to make his Star Wars trilogy. He claims it actually hasn't happened because of Knives Out. Now, Knives Out is a really interesting concept, I guess. And for Rian Johnson, they have made... I'll just say his name normally. They made him, like, super rich. Same as Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig has made so much money from those films. Daniel Craig's like one of the highest paid actors from those films. It's mental. So... in terms of him saying, yeah, it's not happened because of Knives Out, I can believe it a little bit. I can, genuinely. But why would he keep coming back to it? Why would you? So, Rian Johnson has finally spoken out about the long disappeared Star Wars trilogy he was supposed to helm after directing the much reviled Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. And his explanation, he just really, really got into directing mysteries. It's a bit of a weird... it is weird as an explanation. So in a new interview with The Independent, Rian Johnson laughed off the lack of progress on the Star Wars films that Lucasfilm once proudly announced would be his brainchild. So that announcement was made in 2017. 2017. And that was before The Last Jedi hit theatres. They teased a brand new trilogy set in a galaxy far, far away, unrelated to the Skywalker saga and helmed by Rian Johnson himself. So now, years later, obviously there's no script, no cast, no production timeline, that's normal for Star Wars these days. No official cancellation either, because that's, again, normal for Star Wars. They don't ever cancel anything. They just don't update anyone, and it just never happens. So, yeah, Rian Johnson says the reason it hasn't happened is simple. His 2019 film, Knives Out. So he says, quote, "What happened? Knives Out," he said. "I mean, I kind of went down the murder mystery rabbit hole. I'm focused on making other stuff. But that wouldn't rule out it happening down the line. If I get back in the Star Wars universe someday, I'd be the happiest person." So that's interesting, right? I'm focused on making other stuff, but that wouldn't rule out it happening down the line. So it's not happening. He's not officially on board. I mean, he's threatening it, but he's not actually on board. Like, the use of language is really important. I'm focused on making other stuff, which we know what he's making, but that wouldn't rule out it happening down the line. So Lucasfilm has ruled it out happening down the line. They have not hired you. If I get back into the Star Wars universe, someday I'd be the happiest person. So again, it's not when, it's if. There's no when. So it's not happening, is it? It's interesting. Let's be honest, Johnson didn't walk away from Star Wars because he was busy writing quirky dialogue for Benoit Blanc in a movie that came out 6 years ago. He walked away, or was quietly walked out, because The Last Jedi split the fanbase down the middle like a lightsaber through a tauntaun, which is true, but those Knives Out films have made him incredibly rich. Like, incredibly rich. So, his film may have been praised in certain critic circles for subverting expectations, but among the actual Star Wars fanbase, it's widely regarded as the most divisive, and in many circles, the most destructive, entry in the entire saga, from reducing Luke Skywalker to a grumpy hermit who milks alien sea cows, to tossing aside Snoke without explanation, to turning Poe into a reckless insubordinate. Johnson's choices weren't just controversial, they were radioactive and just flippantly nonsensical. So the fan backlash was swift and loud and enduring. Social media lit up with campaigns to remake the film, petitions to strike it from canon, and widespread disdain that still lingers 7 years later. Johnson's name became mud, which is true, but again, in the Knives Out world, he's big. I feel like I've had such a wonderful, lovely, positive experience with the fans during the course of it, he told The Independent, adding that it made him an even bigger Star Wars fan than before. I mean, is he just being sarcastic there? He must be being sarcastic. Right? Gotta be sarcastic. Johnson even compared the fan wars over The Last Jedi to world wars, literally says that the prequels was World War One, and this, The Last Jedi, was World War Two. So bizarre. It's so strange. I mean, look, Johnson's trilogy hasn't ever officially been cancelled. It's not been mentioned in recent Star Wars stuff either. Although, Kathleen Kennedy did mention it at some point. I think it was in the last 2 years or something like that. Kathleen Kennedy once claimed that they were waiting on his schedule. And that schedule apparently is booked solid with Southern Fried Detectives and Netflix deals. Which actually could be the case. Like, I'm not denying that. I think it actually could be that, to be fair. Like, would you put it past Disney to make another Rian Johnson movie? I wouldn't. They are that dumb. I mean, they're making another bloody Rey film, aren't they? So, why would they not do this? So now we're left with this. A man who detonated the central arc of the Skywalker saga, casually tossing out a line about how he might return to Star Wars one day if the mood strikes him. As if the whole fan base is just waiting to open arms. Which is true. I mean, look, I don't disagree that this is all nonsense. But him saying, yeah, well, it's because of Knives Out. I can believe it. I can believe it. It doesn't sound like he's on board at the moment, right? It doesn't sound like it's happening. It does sound like he's away with the, detective stuff, doing that. Which makes sense, because those films have been making him, again, incredibly rich. If I get back in the Star Wars universe. So it's kind of a threat. Yeah, he is threatening us. Don't threaten me. It's comical though, isn't it? Film that was never... Trilogy that was announced has never been cancelled. I don't know. Comical as hell. Anyway, thoughts down below. Bye-bye now.